Alright, my sexy people. So here gonna show you a few days after I set up this little saltwater aquarium. So this is filled with corals that have small polyps, and they're usually considered small polyp species of coral. And these ones in particular, they always build a calcium skeleton, as you see. And the hard part usually is getting them to color up or getting the polyps to start coming out. And I could show you issues between all of them and things that people usually encounter when you have these types of coral. And this is for more advanced hobbyists, honestly. And usually when you're beginning, you want to stay away from these types of coral. But for educational purposes and the products that we use here, this is the results we're able to have. And we're pushing our understanding of our water chemistry and everything about the ocean environment. So we're always adding new aminos, and we're testing aminos and different iodines and possibly trace elements and all that. So we're always testing those, but for sure, as our baseline model, we do have a certain amount of chemicals or ratio of chemicals that we use in our salts to produce the saltwater mixture to be able to sustain these coral right here. And so we're gonna kind of visit all of these coral, starting off with my favorite ones, actually this Garf bonsai. Ever since I elevated my light just for a little bit, if you look up here, I elevated the light slightly, and with the cooler water, I could definitely see this guy starting to come back. I mean, his color's starting to come back how it was on the other system, because I'm using the same light. The water flow is a little bit more intense, so they really love this water flow right here. If I pick up the water flow anymore, this green slimer, the polyps start retracting a lot more. But for this guy and everybody else, they really love the water flow. But this is one of my favorite corals. If this guy takes off, I'll be so happy. But this was my first coral. This is of Garf bonsai, Acropora staghorn. And this was the first types of small polyp species of coral I was able to keep alive, and I have a lot of history with this guy. And then to the right of it is a green slimer. So here's a perfect example of, I'm getting the polyp extension I want, or it's starting to come out actually. In the other system a few days ago, the polyp extension was a lot more, but right here it's starting to finally get adjusted to the water flow, because I know it's getting blasted with a lot of water, and its polyps are starting to come out. And then the coloration, that's what I mean. You see how it's kind of paled out, it's kind of brown. So I think the much more intense lighting and water flow is definitely making them turn around, hopefully. And if he colors up, that's a plus. But here's a really common problem that we see in the hobby. When you get these types of coral, they tend to brown out on you or something, and either it takes time for them to heal up and everything and to color back up, or they're in a one-way streak to start dying. Alright, next up is this bubblegum digi in the back. That guy, man. Let me lift up the camera a little bit more, see if I get a better angle. Ah, snap. That's not cool. Well, it is what it is, right? I guess that's the best we're going to be able to get. So this guy is a bubblegum digi. He has green and blue skin. Kind of like a multi-color skin. And then he has those red polyps. And this guy, he's really, really happy in this aquarium. We just got to let it encrust and start doing its thing. But all the digitata in my tank are doing really, really good. Look at that. The polyp extensions there and everything. So this guy's doing pretty solid. We just gotta let him do its thing and encrust. Next up is this next digi right here. Remember, it's a fragment of the same digi in the bottom. So this digi right here, I fragged it with, or I don't know, it mysteriously fragged. So if you saw that video, I don't know how it broke off, but I just placed it on there. But as you see, the sand's not settling on there. all the sugar fine sand kind of settled out somewhere or in the back chamber, and then I'm just going to siphon out later in the back or wherever it settled, but there's no more sand going on this guy. I did not move him or anything. I just left it do its thing. Next up, we see the Montipora in the back. That's a very common problem right there with a lot of my corals or a lot of people's coral. You see how the algae is just smothering them? But if you look at it, the polyp's out, but the algae is taking over, and that's usually a big problem. You see the polyp right here? I'm gonna try to focus it right in the center of the screen. Right in the, somewhat in the center, there's a polyp. You can really see the polyp if you know what you're looking for, but there's a polyps are out. The only thing is, what do you call it? The algae is growing on them, so we gotta do something about the algae quick. So that's a common problem with a lot of polyps. I mean, a lot of these small polyp species of coral. The skeleton gets susceptible or is susceptible to algae and a whole bunch of shit. Next up, these polyps right here are actually pretty easy to keep. They're not that you don't have to be that experienced or whatever, but they are expensive. These are the little shop of horizoas. So shout outs to Grand Canyon Reefs for donating that. And then right here I got the Rostozoas from my mother. And then right here's these, I think this is an Anacropora. I might be wrong. I don't know if it's gonna do good, but it has this algae strand and it gets annoying. So here's the digi I was telling you guys about yesterday, or the little fragment of the same digi. But you see right here, I think it's starting to heal up right there actually, because the skeleton's not white, and I think it's starting to heal up, so that's good. So if it heals up and then it see new growth, that's a really good sign. But you see the polyp extension and all this coral, it's doing really good actually. So this is one of my favorites in here. I really love the growth pattern that I saw on the mother of this guy. Really nice growth pattern, so I'm excited. And here's the same. This fragment broke off from one of those two ends. I forgot which one. But that's a really cool thing. Next up, one of my favorite corals in the tank is actually this guy right here. Oh snap. Again, this is one of my favorite corals in the system, except the algae starting to grow on them. So like I said, I'm gonna start mobilizing and start doing something about it now rather than later. So we're gonna scrub it with the toothbrush and all that. Not in this video, but pretty soon. And then we're gonna add the cleanup crew. And then there's this Montipora right here that I'm not sure if I really like it. I may or may not get rid of it. We'll see. And then we got this guy over here. I know you're not gonna be able to see it from there. This guy's doing really good. And like I said, it has plagued with algae, but the polyps are out. I'm definitely gonna do something now. Something with that one, and the other one in the back. And then I got this Monty right here. This guy's still recovering. This is an example of one that's polyp extension could be better, and at the same time the the color is not there like in that guy. These two have the ones struggling the most with the color, so hopefully they start coming back. But that's pretty much a walkthrough of my little SPS coral tank, guys. And here's a little flipper, but that's what I use. But I hope you guys like it, and hopefully you guys subscribe and tag along, and hopefully you learned a little bit of something. But these are the corals that I really like, guys. And I really like the color contrast between all these colors. You see that? And just real nice colored contrast. And hopefully the green slimer comes back. But anyways, guys, much love, and I'll see you guys shortly, alright, in the next video.